tock, tick 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 tock.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm solid. How you doing, sister?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for joining us here today.
No problem.
We're here at the podcast, and I'm talking with
Precinct Officer 1000, Nakashwan of the ISUPK.
and we're here today to talk with Officer Nakashwan because he is the director. I think you said you were the producer,
Creator,
progenitor, all of that above,
all the things.
all of the things of the Darkside of Fatherhood series.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone has seen all over their YouTubes, Facebook, TikToks, Instagrams, all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was willing to give us this time to try to get to know a little bit about him, about the Darkside series, and everything he's trying to do. So I thank you for being here today, brother.
Thank you.
Just to start out, kind of light, kind of airy.
Yeah.
So it's obvious from the series that you're a father, or I can assume that you're a father.
Right.
Tell me about when you first found out you were going to be a dad. How did you feel then?
Yeah, so, when we first found out, we were happy. I was elated, and because it's something that I always wanted to be. I mean, most black men feel like that. You feel like you want to be the thing that you were deprived of. And my father was around, but I wanted that responsibility, and I wanted that task. So I felt amazing about it. Yeah.
So the little girl we see in the videos, is that your daughter, or is that just like an actress or something like that? Somebody you got on stand-in?
No, that's my daughter, Heaven.
Mm-hmm. How old is she?
She is 10 today.
Oh wow! I mean, that's amazing. I would have never thought you had a 10-year-old daughter, but
Yeah, it bees like that sometimes.
So how'd you feel when you found out she was going to be a girl? Or did you guys find out? Or was it just like?
Yeah. I found out and I was like, oh, all right, here we go. And all brothers, we want boys, obviously, but the Lord chose to give me a girl. So I was excited about it. I didn't know what it entailed,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm glad I got a girl.
And then what about when you first, I guess your first time holding Heaven, or when she was born, how'd you feel then?
It was it's an interesting story because I was a lot bigger. I was a little bit more jacked. Yeah, I was jacked back then, so I was always so nervous of holding her because I thought I was gonna break her. She's so small. But the first time I held her, it was at the hospital, and again I didn't know how to do it. So the picture looks pretty awkward, but it definitely felt good for sure.
Yeah. So the series is pretty heavy in and of itself. I really didn't want to get there so fast, but I gotta ask a question that people want to know. Can you kind of walk us through what got you to where you were in the first episode?
Yeah, most definitely. So I was, of course, in a relationship with her mom, and around that time, much like any brother who is, going through certain things, you kind of don't understand why. You don't know what the fuck is happening. You kind of you go with the flow. And being in a dark place it's torturous, especially when you're doing it alone. Like, the world doesn't have empathy for a black man that's going through something. The world says, oh, well, this guy's a drunk and you're this, and there's no outlets for you. There's no nothing. When you vent, you're a bitch. If you don't say nothing, you're a bitch. So it's like, well, like, what do you do? And at that time, in my late 20s going into the 30s, you don't know who you are as a man. So you kind of just walking around like a drifter with no purpose, no nothing, and that's where I was. So when Heaven was born, I remember her mom being a little bit more on the edge, and then postpartum depression kicked in, and what I was doing was trying to give her the information about it. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I believe that is one of the factors for not only my depression, but the family splitting. It's a thing that sisters go through that they're not aware that they're going through. And unfortunately, the family will suffer because of it. So I picked up a habit because of the pressure and the stress of being a black man. Mm-hmm. And that pressure, what we call a demon, we call it a demon. It did get the best of me.
So we get to see a little bit of your demons, as you called it, in the dark side. But I mean, you don't look like you got any demons on you now. So I mean, can you kind of tell us a little bit about how you got through that, how you got out of that? Like, what you do to fight those demons, to not succumb to that pit of despair.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I got down here, I didn't have any family here.
Yeah.
I didn't have any family here. And I had just been talking to like people up north, right? So I was talking to a specific brother, and he was giving me counsel. His name is Captain Katazar of the ISUBK. And he said to me, I can give you all this counsel, but it won't mean a damn thing until you get in the class. Mm-hmm. And he put me on to the classes here in Atlanta. And from that point, I learned about who I was, what demons were, the problems that I was going through, and how to fight those problems. So it then formed me into the man that you see now. No longer are the days where I have to suffer that fate that I had before, because I'm living a righteous lifestyle. And then on top of that, too, I'm stronger now, but it's because of the ISUBK.
Okay, so we see you separate from Heaven a lot throughout the dark side. Have you been in contact with her? Like, are you able to see her, visitation or anything like that?
No. Across the board, no. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, have you tried to reach out to her?
Yes. Yes. All the time.
And then, so I know you have your own story. You had your own story you wanted to tell. But what was the inspiration for the Dark Side series? Was it just, hey, let me get my story out, or did you want something bigger to come from it?
Yeah, so the Dark Side series, what I want to come out of it, like the goal, the whole purpose of it is for brothers, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indigenous brothers to know that I know what you're going through. Black fathers, I know what you're going through. Here is somebody finally telling the tale of what we go through in the dark. There's this idea that men cry in the dark. We do a lot of shit in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Not just cry, but we suffer in the dark. And I wanted to put that burden on my back, go back into that feeling of what it was like at that time, in order to display and illustrate to Black people, period, not even just men, like, yo, this is what we go through. You always hear the mother side of the story. You never hear the dad side of the story. All of our stories don't look the same. The idea is, you're a father, you're not around your kid, you out having sex and having fun. I wasn't having fun at all. as you can see.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I know a lot of brothers who are not having fun. It's not fun raising your child through a FaceTime. You know, not being able to touch or hug the thing that you helped to create, to have that ripped away from you. Somebody has to tell a story, so I decided to do it.
And what made you decide to do it now? What made this feel like the right time for a project as ambitious as Darkside?
It was just kind of like it was like the right time. I just think it just something was like, yo, just do this. You know, I was seeing a lot of other fathers talk about it too. Like, you know, like somebody was like, brothers are asking for stories like this to be out, and I was just getting tired of all the rhetoric that I would see online about it. It's like, black men this, black y'all ain't this, y'all like, nah, that ain't always the case though. You know what I mean? Like, if black men ain't this and we ain't that, what is the mother that is keeping the child away from the dad? You know, you holding brothers' kids hostage because you didn't like the way they talked to you. You didn't like the way it ended. So that warned sisters, some of them, sisters, to strip the child away from the father. You know, the kid suffers.
Right.
The kid is going to suffer. So, yeah.
So, in doing this series, what would you say, like what advice or what sort of guidance would you say to a father going through something like what you went through, or a mother on the edge or on the verge of doing something similar? Like, what advice would you give to that family, that young family, as they're going through these trying times, I guess?
I would tell the sisters to basically look at everybody around you and then listen to what your man is saying. Because the doctors who dig inside your woman and, you know, that OBGYN person that you love and you trust so much is not going to tell you about postpartum depression. They'll tell you about birth control and how that's important, but they don't prep you for that demon that's coming. So listen to your man, because he's going to know. And to the brothers, stay strong. Stay strong, you know, because her demon could easily become yours. And it's going to, if you allow it. But you got to let her know what time it is, too. You got to let her know, like, listen, I know this is on you, but she has to want to fix it. But I tell her brothers, be strong, and don't jeopardize your integrity. You know, don't go crawling into a bottle or a crack pipe or whatever your vice is. Don't do that, because you would be a part of the statistic that says that we ain't shit.
So, I think probably the last thing I would want to ask, or at least I would say offer up this time for, what, if anything, would you say to heaven right now if she was here?
I'm here. I never left. I love you, obviously. And Daddy did all of this for you. You know, that's what I would tell her. All of this. You know, the podcast, the series, and, you know, having to tap back into who I used to be in order to flesh out the character for the series. I did all of this just for you, so you could know my side. That's what I would tell her.
That's one lucky young lady. And I want to thank you again just for taking this little bit of time out of your day just to share with us a little bit of your story.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, and it was absolutely amazing to hear. Again, thank you again.
Thank you, sister. What is it? You said your podcast?
The podcast.
That's pretty clever.
It's pretty clever. My husband gave it to me.
Oh, nice. Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
All right. That was amazing. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. I mean, I'm really glad you were here. You know, you're an amazing guest.
Thanks.
Your story is super interesting. But I mean, you know, off the record.
Yeah.
So you said
Off the record.
off the record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, off on the record, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned having to fight these demons.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at you. Like I said, I don't see no demons on you.
Yeah.
Is that fight over? Is that something you still fight with?
You know, there was an old me before. The scripture mentions, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, of how you got to get rid of the old man. You know, and you never really get rid of him. You just got to knock him out, and you got to keep knocking him out, because if you don't keep fighting him, he will get up. And I made a promise to myself, and a promise to people that I know and people that I care about, and my daughter, that I won't let that old man rise again. So every day, to your question, every day, I got to keep fighting to knock this guy out.
Pray for my demons. They thought I'd be dead by now. Whoa. Pray for my demons.